Hello, this is Joe Alberici of Army West Point Lacrosse. I hope you and your families are doing well through this most difficult time and staying safe. I want to thank Coaching Through Cancellation, as well as Coach Dan Shamati, for allowing me to present a few ideas that I hope you find applicable for your teams. Hope you enjoy the presentation. We have 6 drills here for you, some of our favorites with the Army lacrosse team. They all have 3 things in common. 1, they bring great fun and energy to our practice. 2, they're competitive. And 3, there's a fundamental focus to all of these drills, to include a lot of stick work. I think you will find these drills useful for all age levels, with only minor adaptations. Let's take a look at our first one. First one is our Grant passing drill. The offensive objectives in here, again, is multiple handles in tight. So we're really working on our stick work, scoring opportunities in a 4-on-3 situation. Our defensive objectives is to foster communication, rotations, and getting our sticks in the passing lane. The setup of this drill is it's a 12 by 12 box between the 45 and the 33-yard line. There's going to be 3 offensive players inside that box, 2 defensive players inside the box, with 1 offensive player, 1 defensive player at goal line extended. You can see here 2 starts with the ball, throws to 1. He'll throw it over to 3. You can see Gold is taking some hard rotations here and moving. When the coach blows the whistle after multiple passes, they'll come down into a 4-on-3. So here we go. Some live action here. We ask that our offensive players will use their outside hands. You can notice the stick fakes, the eye manipulation. And again, our defenders are being super aggressive into the passing lanes. Now it's coming down into a 4-on-3. You may have noticed behind it, the next group of 5 are already filtering in. You'll see here number 11 is a defender playing offense, which we encourage. So it's a great stick handling for both defenders and offensive players. After a bunch of passes, coach will blow the whistle, and here they go, coming down on a 4v3. If the ball is thrown away inside the box, quickly have a player throw a ball right back in. So there's no need to chase. We just want to keep the drill going up tempo. Next drill we have for you here is 3v2 weave. The offensive objectives, once again, is a multiple stick work and stick handles in tight, creating many scoring opportunities, often around the crease and inside, and then working in our pass and then leading to a pick. All right, so we're going to pass and then follow with a pick. Defensively, we're going to work on our communications through picks, and then also an objective is to work on getting some deflections. In terms of setup, we often use tennis balls in this drill. It's goalie friendly, and then it's also for our offensive players. It's a great situation to kind of soften their hands with tougher to catch a tennis ball. Okay, setup. There'll be 3 offensive players, roughly about 10 yards apart. 2 defensive players on the inside, stacked in an I. The offensive players can initiate in either direction, then follow their pass into a pick. The first recipient of the ball will again pass it and then set an on-ball pick. So 2 throws the ball down to 1, and he'll follow in with a pick here. 1 will come off of it into 3, and then follow with a pick. And now it becomes a 3 versus 2. So basically 2 drills inside of 1. A little picking game into some unsettled. All right, it's kind of happening quick here for us. Once again, this really is a great drill for communication on the offensive side as well as the defensive side. Letting them know where the one more is, where the help is. All right. Also, offensive players needing to read the defense, see who play or how they play the pick. All right. And this time they stay with it. He should have thrown down low. We got one more for you here. There's the pick. Okay, he stays with it. Once again, that ball should have been thrown right down to the low corner here. But again, you can see a great deal of stick work happening here in tight quarters. All right, does the right, he throws back, leads to a pretty easy shot right there. Our next drill is 29. Offensive objectives is once again reading picks below the goal line. Our footwork on the throwback to X is another objective to continue to rep out. And then reading defenders in the unsettled. This is a drill that has, again, a picking element that leads into an unsettled. So from a defensive perspective, the objectives are, again, to communicate and play through the picks, and then work on playing that 2 versus 1 up the side when it becomes a unsettled drill. The setup is there's 3 offensive players. One is located roughly 8 yards off of goal line extended. The second, number 2, is roughly about 7 to 8 yards at below goal line at X. And then there's the number 3 that, as you can see, at goal line and is opposite the ball. He'll come into play when it becomes an unsettled drill. And then you have 2 defenders, as you can see here, covering number 1 and 2. One throws down to 2. You should take him away a little bit and then comes down and sets a pick. Now for the goal defenders, they've just got to decide how they're playing that, can communicate, that can fit right into your schemes and how you would want to play that pick. 2 will automatically go back to 1. Now 1 can choose either side, and he's going to play that 2-on-1 up the side. And then the goal defender rotates and they finish. All right, this first offensive player probably should have taken his guy away a little bit. Got the 2 versus 1 up the side. Again, great stick handling inside, or great opportunities for stick handling inside. Number 55 does a pretty good job. He takes his man away, comes back down, sets a pick. They communicate through. We step away and throw to X, and now we have a 2v1 up the other side, and then creating an opportunity, a scoring opportunity. Apache. Apache's, again, one of our favorites, a very competitive drill for us, one that we like to do several times a week. The objectives offensively is for our ground ball offense in the box, to get the ball up and to create offensive situations, favorable offensive situations. The second objective offensively is for us to pick up ground balls in pressure situations. Defensive objective is to defend in the gray, defend in the unsettled. So what we will do is purposely distort ourselves defensively in order to rush back in and have to communicate our way through that defensive situation. The setup is there's 6 offensive players circling in a clockwise direction on the outside of the crease, and then 6 defenders circling in a counterclockwise on the inside. Coach will throw the ball to the perimeter in which the offense and at least 2 defenders, potentially even 3 defenders, chase in order to deliberately distort the defense. All right, coach will roll the ball out. As you can see here, number 5 pursues it. 3 defenders go. And now we're looking to quickly, if we can, in 2 passes, get the ball to the backside. And then we want to be a play ahead on the backside. So you can see white on the outside. So they're the offensive players. Ball's rolled out, little communication of who has it. There should be some help to his right and to his left. We want to deliberately change sides, and then in 2 passes, within 2 passes, and then look for an opportunity. Okay, now we have black on offense. There's a single pass. Now this leads into a 6-on-6 situation. So defensively, we have to have a cascade of communication. Who's, finding your man, who's on, who the two call is, what the matchup looks like, playing the picks. Great drill. It contains a lot of different elements for us. Our hot sauce drill, which is designed to replicate a ball moving to the backside and then looking to attack quickly from an offensive perspective, as well as defensively. Key component to any good defense is being able to handle that quick dodge with great approaches. So our objectives offensively is to work on those quick dodges, work on our hitches, our splits, our combo moves in small spaces and doing it immediately off the catch. Defensively, this just gives us great number of repetitions on approaches. So, and we'll talk about how we want to do that a little bit later. So the setup of this is that we have 3 discs. They're marked as cones here, but we just, the soccer discs work best. Okay, one disc should be at about the 5 yards off of the crease. A second disc should be 12 yards up the field, right around the hash, and then a third cone should be at about the 10 yards off of goal line extended, maybe 3 yards outside the hash is typically where we have them. There's an offensive player that will start on the inside cone, a defensive player that starts on the outside cone. On a coach's whistle or a go call, the offensive player will sprint to one of the 2 cones, and the defensive player will sprint to the cone that the offensive player has just left, and then come out hard and violently on his approach. Coach will throw the ball, and then that one-on-one starts immediately. That's how we do with a midfielder. Of course, you want to put your attackman above the goal. Here's a look at how we would do it with attack or inverted midi. The offensive player starts in the inside cone. The defensive player will start on the outside cone. On a go call, they switch positions and the defender comes out hard, and then the one-on-one ensues. Just take a look at the video here. Again, we really try to, because we do have many coaches, we'll try to do this on 3 cages so we can get a ton of reps. Okay. Defensively, you're really not going to often take the ball away. You're just trying to hinder the shot, create a lower angle, have your stick in the gloves. Pretty good approach by this guy in terms of his stick positioning, but he needs to get to the high side. Offensively, we're looking to attack those passes. So a couple additional coaching points to those. Maybe those aren't the greatest examples, but some coaching points. You want to have your offensive player attacking the pass. That will change the angle of the approach. You want your offensive player to be physical and also move quickly into his dodge before the help defense gets set up. Defensively, we want to be quick and violent on the approach. Our hips are low, our stick is out between our shoulders, and then we need to be physical because they are so close to the goal. Our final drill here is the Lusk drill. All right, our Lusk drill, our objectives offensively are to create dodging opportunities behind the goal. Oftentimes we use this for our middies to get repetitions in the invert, but it can be a midi attack. So they're dodging behind the goal. It's going to help us in our picking game below goal line. It's going to help our dodgers with reads, where the slide's coming from, if the slide is coming at all. And then another objective is it creates a lot of two-pass attacks and attack scenarios. So one would dodge, move the ball in front of them, quickly over to the backside for that quick dodge, which we had just worked on in the hot sauce. Defensively, this has given us reps on ball in working below goal line. So we will put a lot of our middies to get some repetitions against the invert as well as our defenders. Helps them work against the pick game. It gives us time to work with our inside player on their technique and decision making. And then the top of the formation has to work to support the backside as well, backside crease that is, as well as violently getting out to approach the ball if it comes up top. So the setup of this drill is you're going to see 6 offensive players. We have them set up in a 2-2-2 and 5 defensive players set up in a 2-1-2. The drill will begin with a dodge below the goal line, and oftentimes we'll have our below goal line defenders working with nubs so that they can get some additional work on their footwork. Nubs being a shortened stick without a head. All right, so you see 2 coming over to set a pick for 1. We have to negotiate that. 3 is making 3 on the defensive end is making a decision to slide or not. 1 sees that, throws up to 6, and then across over to 5 for shots. Right? Take a look here at our video. Right? Little pick. He refuses the pick. He reads a slide and then decides to skip it through. Couple coaching points on that is just defensively, you're working to develop the mindset on the defenders that every man gets a man, every good man gets 2, because you are down a person. So we need to be able to help the crease, support the crease, support the defender on ball with not only a crease slide potentially, but also with the 2 call. And then if the ball does get moved up top, to get out and work on our approach and be violent in those situations on ball. I want to thank you for taking the time. I hope you can you found some use in some of the drills that we provided here today, and that you're able to use these in your program. If I can assist you in any way, please reach out. Stay safe.